I have to get back to the office. I want to tell you two women that I think you're both very, very competent and good people. I had some questions for you, but I'm not going to ask them. I intend to support both of you and wish you the very best in your position. And I just want to finish with Mr. Verrilli for a minute. Now, I acknowledge and realize that you weren't in a decision-making role with regard to the DOMA matter, and that it's been made, and that this should not fall in your lap. But with respect, I need a simple and clear answer to this, and I think others will need this. If you believe that reasonable arguments exist to defend a statute's constitutionality, but the Attorney General or President says otherwise, or say otherwise, will you defend the statutes or not? Or resign?
Senator, I would defend the statute unless instructed by my superior not to do so.
Well, see, that's not a good answer. The Solicitor General has the obligation of defending the statute under those two conditions. And I added or resign, not to get you out of the Solicitor General's office, but to give you a reasonable out if you disagree with the President and or the Attorney General on something as monumental as many think this issue is, or a similar issue. So I'm just asking you, would you allow the President of the United States or the Attorney General of the United States to dictate to you as Solicitor General what you've got to do, even though you know it's wrong, under the rules and law?
Well, Senator, the Solicitor
You
General...
have the right to resign, but...
Yes, Senator. But the Attorney General was given the authority by Congress and has delegated that to the Solicitor General, and the Solicitor General is exercising the Attorney General's authority.
No, the Solicitor General is exercising authority for our country.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Irrespective of the Attorney General. And if you disagreed with the Attorney General, let's just say if you disagree with the Attorney General, you have two choices, and you believe there is a reasonable reason for bringing the case, or it doesn't involve the separation of powers, which are the two categories, then it looks to me like the only choice you have, if the Attorney General insists on making you do something you disagree with, the only choice you'd have would be to resign.
Well, I think resignation would be a very weighty step.
Right.
I don't think, Senator, that disagreement is the standard for resignation.
We're not just talking about disagreement. We're talking about disagreement on principles that have long been established in the Justice Department over whether or not the Justice Department should act on behalf of the Congress, behalf of the statute duly passed by the Congress of the United States. This is important to us. We really believe when we pass statutes up here, even when I'm in the minority, those statutes ought to be defended by the Justice Department unless you cannot find any reason to defend them, or they infringe on the power of the President.
Yes, Senator, and I think those standards are the correct standards.
Well, then if they are, why would you not resign if you were told to do something that you did not believe was right?
Well, I think, Senator, it's just...
I'm not trying to get you to resign.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get
you
in there as Solicitor General.
I'm just trying to give you my best honest answer here. I think resignation is a very weighty step, and it's something that I just find impossible to answer in the abstract. And I think the answer is, are there circumstances in which I would feel that integrity and principle require me to resign? Certainly, yes. But is that every disagreement?
No.
No, and so it's somewhere...
I'm talking about these two principles that you articulate are the principles. And I'm also talking about the fact that the Solicitor General is there for a real reason. And if somebody politically tries to get you to do something that is not right, no matter if it's the Attorney General or the President, you have an obligation to stand up for what's right. at least as you view it.
I've done my best to answer you, Senator. I do think there are circumstances in which integrity and principle would compel
And there
me
are
to decide to
circumstances
resign.
where you would resign if that conflict occurred.
Certainly, I can't, as I said, it's very, very hard to answer in the abstract, but certainly there are circumstances.
I think it's just, if you disagree with them, and it's a weighty issue, and the case for the congressional statute meets those two requisites, does not, fits the standards that you've discussed here, then it seems to me you have no choice, rather than acting politically, you have no choice but to resign. And I think that's a fair question. Like I say, I'm not trying to get you to resign in advance on anything. I just want you to understand that it's that important. That the Solicitor General's office never be politicized in any way, shape, or form, and that you live up to those two standards as a reason for defending. Look, forget DOMA. That's important to a lot of us up here, but this is the Congress of the United States. We pass statutes that we believe are constitutional. Even if you don't believe that the statute is constitutional, if there is a reasonable basis for arguing that it is, and if it doesn't infringe on the President's separation of powers, then it seems to me you have an obligation to go forward and defend that statute on behalf of us up here, on behalf of the Congress of the United States, one of the separated powers.
Those are the standards. I believe in them.
And you live up to them?
And I intend to live up to them if I'm confirmed.
Well, okay. I just want you to know I have deep respect for you. We may disagree philosophically. I could care less with regard to your nomination. I want to support your nomination. And you can differ with me and still have my support because of your abilities and your capacities. But these are really important questions, and frankly, a lot of us are very upset that it looks like the Attorney General of the United States, who I supported, by the way, has played a political card rather than a legal card at the request of the presidency of the President of the United States. And that shouldn't happen in the Department of Justice. We all rely on the Department of Justice to do what's right, more than, I think, any other department. And members of Congress rely on the department to sustain our statutes that we go through all kinds of pain to get through the Congress and not be vetoed by the President. So I just raise these issues because they are important issues, and like I say, I have great respect for you. You have a tremendous background, a tremendous experience. There's no question you're a tremendous lawyer. And I respect both you and your wife. And I just wanted to make sure that we understand these issues as well as we can. And I'd feel better if you'd say, yeah, I'd resign before I do something I know is wrong. I think you are saying that, but I'd like to hear it.
Well, Senator, I do believe that there could be circumstances in which integrity and principle would compel me to resign.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking, and I don't want you to resign. I want you to fulfill
Not
this.
there yet.
Well, I'm trying to get you there, but you're not cooperating. You're being rebellious. Is all I can say. No, I just.
That's the independence you're looking for, Chairman.
That's right. Well, God bless you, and I'm very much supportive of you two women as well, and hope that you'll do a very, very good job that will be apolitical in nature, and that will carry on the duties of the Justice Department in your respective positions.
Senator Sessions.